Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Lead Estate in Kenya with Reuben Kimani live today. I hope you are doing well wherever you are watching this from. Today we are talking about the big money in real estate. How to become a successful real estate agent. Of course, to make this money. Real estate has been booming for the last 15 to 20 years. People have made a lot of money. Companies, individuals, groups, and even government, billions and billions of money. Real estate contributes 8% to our GDP. That is not a small amount. And this has been growing over the years. How do you tap into this big pool of money? People have become millionaires. People have owned homes. People have so many plots in the city. There are people who have houses all over. There are people who are starting their careers today. And these are people who really want to tap into this industry. How do you make this money in real estate? How to become a successful agent? And who is an agent? Very easy. This is basically someone whose main business is, of course, selling of houses, selling of land. They can be selling offices. They can also be selling other types of building, anything that is real estate, anything standing on land. That's what they involve themselves in. If you look back into the US, this trade is very popular. People make a lot of money. You may know some of them over the years. They start from zero. Some start from employment, and they're able to do a lot. How can you replicate that in Kenya? You must be able to know how to be a successful real estate agent. And I'm going to take you through step by step. There's a lot of money to be made. Of course, there are those who have tried and failed and wondered, where is this money? Of course, you are doing it wrongly. We have been in this business for the last 8 years, learned a lot, and we are going to share some of these experiences with you so that you can also benefit. There are 3 types of real estate agents, and you can be able to choose which one you want to be. And number 1, you can be a buyer's agent. These are people who basically look for properties in response to a need by a buyer. Basically, like those guys who look for houses for you over the weekend. You pay 1,000 shilling somewhere in Kikuyu. They give you 3, maybe 2-bedroom apartments or 1-bedroom apartments. Then you choose one of them. You pay them a small amount of money. If you are looking for land somewhere, you can pay these guys or these agents. They look for a certain piece of property for you. Maybe a house. You want a 3-bedroom house with a big bedroom, self-contained. Those specific, very key specifics that you want to get. They'll look it for you and they'll charge you for it. There are those who will charge 1 month's rent. There are those who will charge a certain percentage of the value of the house, depending on your agreement. Number 2, there is a seller's agent. This is what most people know in Kenya. They are called brokers and stuff like that. They are all over. They have properties under their portfolio. Then they look for buyers for these properties. You may have pieces of land all over the country. Most of them are into houses. They have so many houses that they have been given by buyers. They write letters. They give them authority to be able to sell. That's what we know as brokers and agents in Kenya, and it is very common. You can still succeed doing exactly that. There are so many properties that need selling. There are so many people who want to sell their properties, but they want someone who can connect them with buyers. Number 3, you can be a dual agent, basically being a buyer's agent and seller's agent at the same time. I think you can combine that so that you're able to get a good portfolio of properties for you to be able to move forward. What I'm trying to say, you have many options. Of course, there are those independent agents out there, and there are so many, and there are those agents who work under a banner of companies like Username Investment Limited. You're still an agent. The characteristics, the qualifications you need, let me not call them qualification because it may look like we have to go to school. No. There are, there are several skill sets that you need. There are several things that you need for you to be a successful agent. I'm going to share some of them so that you can tap in this big dam of real estate You can tap into it and make money out of it. Number one, I would like to give you just a few tips, step by step, on how to become a successful real estate agent. One of the things I would like to tell you, most people do things the kienyeji way. What do I mean? It's the unprofessional way of doing things. You don't have records, you don't have a plan, you don't have a schedule. You just wake up and start looking for houses to sell, land to sell, and stuff like that. Then you do it without commitment. Any place where you don't put commitment, don't expect to succeed in it. You have to be committed the same way you got committed in your study. The same way if you get employment, you get committed to your job. It is the same way when you become an agent. You become independent, you have to be professional, you have to have a plan, you have to be committed. What are these tips on how to become a successful agent? Number one, you need to develop a plan. Real estate agents, these are like small businesses. You have to take something like a business. I'll give you an example of farming. Those people who do subsistence farming in the village, the reason they don't make it is because they don't take it like a business. A business must make profit. Remember that. You can't be in a business for charity. No, it must make profit. So you have to look at your input and output, and the difference is where you make a profit, and you have to manage up to the very end. The reason we don't make profit in farming, for majority of farmers in our country, the subsistence type, is because they don't keep record. They take it like a hobby, like something that just need to be done. So they don't know when they are making a profit or a loss. They keep doing things that make a loss. It is the same thing when you are an independent agent. You need to have a plan. And what is this plan? A business plan, so that you take it very serious. A business plan tells you how much money do I need, how many properties do I need to sell per month for me to make X amount of money that can make me rich. How much do I need in terms of employees, if you need to employ someone? How much do I need in terms of resources for you to be able to move from point A to point B? Those are important things that are put in a business plan. And how long will it take for me to make maybe 100,000 per month to $1 million per month? There are people in this organization who makes a lot of money as agents because they are able to tap into these tips. Number one, you need a plan. Number two, you need to find a niche. There are people who are all over doing all manner of things. You have to choose what you are selling. There are people who will focus on selling land purely. The people who will focus on selling houses. The people who will focus on selling offices like this one. There are people who will focus on renting. There are people who will focus on selling. You have to decide where your niche is. Why am I saying this? You don't have the luxury of doing everything in this world. And it also matters in the kind of business we do. All businesses, you have to focus your effort, especially when you are starting. There are only a few people who can be able to do all manner of businesses. You hear someone is a big empire, business empire. These are people who have been in business for 30, 50 years. So they have developed enough capacity, enough number of people to be able to represent them. But when you are starting, you don't have the luxury. It applies to all businesses. Find a niche. Know where you can be able to make money. In user investment, we focus on affordable land for investment and for those who want to build their own home. We don't do construction. We don't do agency business. We don't organize home exports and stuff like that. We focus on one area where we are able to give first-class customer service. You can do the same. Focus on the niche. Ask yourself, where do I think I have more strength? So that you go there. Number three, you need an online presence. The first customer in Username Investment Limited came from Facebook. If you are not online, if you don't have an online presence anywhere in the world at the moment, you have no business, because that's where majority of people are. That's where all of us have an account in Facebook, in Instagram. Even those in the village, they watch YouTube, they stream. That's where everyone is. So you need an online presence. It is so easy. It is cost you 0 shillings. Create a Facebook page, an Instagram page, create a YouTube channel where you can be educating people. Start slowly. I don't want to tell you to start with so many things. You need to start very small. Started with a few followers. I remember we had a few followers. We went to 1,000. That was that time in Facebook. We kept celebrating. It took so long to get to 5,000 likes, by the way. Took so long, but we were still getting leads. We kept going for all these years, 8 years. So you need an online presence. Number 3, number 4, you need to gradually build systems and structures. Let me not use big words. Basically, you need to develop a way of working. That's where you have a plan, you have schedules, you know how you'll be doing every month of the year, every week of the year, and what you are targeting. You already have a niche, I believe. Then you develop these systems. You also need an automated way of working. Most people think having, especially IT system, is extremely expensive. Some of these things like Excel sheets, which you can have in your laptop. We have Google Sheets. These days you pay. They have been free for so long. You can be able to use them to do your recording. You don't need expensive, funny, big software, no noise. Those ones are very expensive. Have a way of recording what you are doing. You also need to know that you may need to pay taxes at some point. You may need to be able to pay people and stuff like that. You need those records well done. The beauty of small businesses is when you are starting, you don't have loads of data like Safaricom. No, you don't have. Or username at the point. You have very little data that you can record so easily. And you can get someone who you can pay outsourced functionality to do this for you. It is very important. It's the only way to know whether you are moving forward or backward. Sometimes you may spend some little money to be able to develop these structures, but remember, there's no way you can make money. In our language, they say you use a shilling to make a shilling. They actually say you use a shilling to shine on the other shilling, because it's not possible to make money without using it. Don't forget that. Number 5, you need to build relationships. Agency, remember, in all businesses, not just real estate, we are dealing with people. We deal with people's lives. We deal with people's needs, desires, wishes. We deal with people's future. Remember that, and that's where relationship comes in. Understand what people need. That's what will inform the kind of agency business that you are going to do. Are people looking for land animals? That's where you need to go. Are people looking for homes? You need to do your own basic research to be able to do that. When you understand the needs of a person, not just in business, that's where a relationship starts. You understand those needs and you keep meeting them almost on a daily basis. I met someone in business yesterday and they were telling me one of the secrets of their success is because they develop serious relationships. If they realize you can get business for you for a long time, they get hold of you. They'll do anything in their power, which is not illegal, to ensure they maintain you for as long as they can. Then they keep moving forward. Get one customer, get the next, and real estate works with trust. Unlike many other businesses, you need to develop trust with this business. So you have to understand their need, meet that need, look for other customers to a point where you get like 10,000 customers like Username Investment Limited. And that's where your business plan will tell you. So relationships are key, not just for real estate, for any other business. Remember that. Number 6, you may need to find a mentor in this sector. And some people look for physical mentors, people who are around. You look for Reuben, you look for Username, and other mentors in the industry. It is very, very important so that you don't make the mistakes we have done. One of the things we learned in 2014, we wasted a whole year doing one project which we should have done in 2 months because there's one piece of information that we never knew at that point. Of course, we have learned many other things and we have wasted more years. Between 2013 to 2016, we did 3 projects. But between 2016 and 2019, we did like 30 projects, 10 times more. Why? Because you have learned how it works. And let me tell you, there's no shortcut to learning how business works. There's so many people who have money out there who just come into real estate to make money. They have millions. They come and put it there and they fail miserably. Because just like the way a baby grows, there are things you can't jump puberty, for example. no matter how much money you have. That's the way it works in business. There is formative stages where you have to get into the mud, run these things yourself, and you can't avoid that stage. Any business, I will tell you that, and it takes years. That's where you get character development. That's where you get to learn the nitty-gritties. No one will ever teach you that. Always remember. So you need to get a mentor who can share these things. They'll not tell you everything, but you might avoid mistakes that you would have done. How do you find a mentor? That's a topic for another day. You may look for me, have a sitting and mentor as many people as possible, but I may not be able to meet everyone to share this piece of information. And that's why we are doing these recordings and these live shows. I hope you are watching today. That's why we are doing them. We share these pieces of information. You can look for me in YouTube, Facebook. We share almost every day, and Instagram and stuff like that. Reuben Kimani KE and other captains of the industry in every sector that you want. You can read their books as well. There are so many pieces of information you can get. So it's not about meeting someone. I may not be able to meet Bill Gates today, but I can read his book, right? So that's how you get mentors. What you want is information, not necessarily to meet someone. But of course, you can be able to get someone well and good. As an added tip, please educate yourself in the sector. For you to become efficient, effective, for you to be able to make this big money, you need to know a lot. You need to educate yourself. You need to read the newspapers, which are talking about real estate. You find our stories there. Go to YouTube, is a university of sorts. Follow our posts. You'll be able to know a lot. You can come for a site visit. I did so many site visits before starting username investment. I used to pay for some of them for me to understand. Go to the ground and try to do something that will train you. Then educate your customers, because every time you have crisis in the sector, when you have fraudulent kind of news, we should get a lot of information, a lot of questions. You need to be able to understand, educate yourself, immerse yourself into this, and that's the only way to make money. I want to remind you at this point, there are people who want to come and make big money, like my friends have talked about, came with investor billions of shillings. They failed miserably because they were trying to avoid that critical step of learning. If your only objective is to make money, just remember you'll make none. That's why we started talking about identifying a need that people have. That's the only way to survive in these kinds of businesses. For a long time, you make $1 million shillings, but that's the end of it. You need to be able to understand people's needs. If you only want to make money, you'll make none. And it also applies to other businesses. What are these skills that you must have for you to become very good, make good money, get enough customers, get a growing business? There are several of them. I also want to mention that, before I give you this, I want to mention that most of these real estate businesses, we have more than 1,000 registered in Kenya. I bet you only know 10 if you know a lot about these companies. Maybe username topping the list at the moment. You only know 10. Why? It's because there are so many out there. Most of them fail, by the way. Most like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 businesses fail. In real estate, it's the same. You don't know them because most of them fail or they are not doing well, because they don't apply some of these tips that I'm going to share. Number one is communication skills, and this applies to everything, including relationships, human relationships. If there's no communication, there's no relationship, you know that. It also applies in real estate. Number one, you need to know how to speak to customers, right? You have to know how to speak to people, not customers only. These are human beings. They have needs, they have fears, they have desires, they have visions. You need to understand that. One of the things we are really trying to train our members of staff who are in these roles is to know and understand somebody's needs. We did customer experience service week, I think a week ago, and we are talking about empathy, trying to put yourself in the shoes of the customers, understanding their needs, giving them value for what they are paying for. These are some of the things that you need to understand. And for you to be able to understand them, you need to critically be able to communicate very well to these customers. Some of them will prefer talking via phone. There are those who want to talk via WhatsApp. There are those who are a bit formal, official. They want you to talk via email because of the sensitive nature of transactions. There are those who are locally here and those who are in diaspora. There are those who will ask you to talk to you at night. Are you willing to do that? If you want to be successful, you have to be flexible. It goes without saying. Unless you don't want business, but you can always communicate to these customers so that you agree on when to be able to speak. There are so many modes, there are so many methods, there are so many strategies of communication, but communication is about understanding each other, understanding each other's needs. If you're able to, at any given time, to understand somebody's needs, of course, you develop a relationship with them. Number two, integrity. Real estate is about trust. How do you gain trust? It's about doing what you say you will do, especially on small matters. This is where most of us fail, because we are human beings. You say, I'll call you, of course you don't call. I'll follow up on this, of course you don't. And when you make mistakes, because you make them, you don't even apologize. It is not a big deal to you. Of course, you'll not make any sales. You'll not become a successful agent. Integrity is very important. Doing what you say you will do. A single incidence of unethical behavior, especially in this market, where we have been having so many scams, scandals all over the news, any given time, and we get so many inquiries here. It will taint your name. The trust that you have will get away. And one of the things I will tell you, one customer brings another. People buy as families, as communities, as friends, and we have seen this in our sector. One of the things about username investment, during COVID time, this is one of our experiences. We learned that the referral customers actually supported our business. We were not advertising, the budgets were not there. There was not even the mood to be able to advertise. We were not launching new projects, we were selling what we had. And referral customer came a long way. How do you get these referral customers? By having integrity and establishing trust over time. Integrity is better than silver and gold. That is the Bible. Your name is more important than silver and gold. Always remember that. But if you just want to make money for a short period of time, of course, the Kenyan way, people are looking for shortcuts all over, trying to make money. It is so sickening from any method available. It's for a short time, but if you want to survive and make big money, you have to have integrity. It is hard. It is not comfortable. You have to do the hard work, and that's what we are talking about today. You need to be committed. Number three, you need negotiation skills. Very, very important. Unlike many other products that you buy out there, including a phone, a car, you can negotiate. But in land and real estate business, you have to negotiate. Most people put a markup because they understand any Kenyan will come and negotiate. So you need to develop your negotiation skills. How do you develop them? It's not by reading a book. You can read a book to give you tips, but you learn by doing. That is the most important thing. Engage yourself. You get the first customer. You learn how to negotiate. There are basic steps, and you can look for books to be able to teach you that. There are basic approaches that you can be able to use. You learn by doing, get one customer, negotiate, and stuff like that, so that you can also be able to increase your bottom line. If you only accept what the customers say, you lose a lot of money, because most people have already factored the fact that someone will be able to negotiate. You also need to have problem-solving skills, very important in our business. One of the things about our business is not very complicated. The people who come to our business, and I have friends who have tried that. It is not rocket science to be able to do subdivision of land, add value addition, stuff like that. Where the problem comes in, and I'll share this, is because land, any piece of property we buy, has one issue or two. There are disputes about boundaries. The people will come and say this land belongs to them. There are families who say you land, then later come and say, no, I was not consulted. Maybe a spouse, a kid, and stuff like that. All things do happen. And then they go to court. There are so many pieces of land in this town. If you find any prime piece of property in the city center that is not developed, most likely there is a court case for many years, some of them for as much as 30 years old. That is what it means, and those things stresses you. One of the things you have to learn is how to solve problems. Sometimes when you go to the land's office, and this is very common, trying to get title deeds for customers, you have to keep communicating. Land offices are closed at will. This is our government, and we hope they stop this. Land offices are closed. You'll find the registrar is not there, the land officer is not there, and you had promised to give this title by Friday. What do? You have to communicate. Sometimes it's perpetual because of the way our government offices work. So you have to learn how to communicate as number one, but you also learn how to solve problems. One of the things we do, we face them head on. Let me tell you, we have faced many problems over the last 7 years. Many problems, any piece of property. Even in negotiation, you stay for so many months. When you negotiate and you are done, somebody comes and they want to go to court. It happens, but we face them head on. Just like negotiation skills, you learn problem solving by solving the problems one at a time. I'll not tell you you'll be perfect. You have to keep going on at every given problem that you face. That's the only way, and you have been doing this for a long time. We communicate to our customers. You already have problems you are solving at the moment, but 99 out of 100 projects that we will do will be clean. So that's how we do it, not that we don't have problems. And you also, as a successful real estate agent, you have to know how to solve these problems. Go to the land office if you have to, because we go there, we camp there for months to get these title deeds. If you have to do that, you have to do that. If you have to talk to people to be able to solve these problems, you have to go to the ground, negotiate, compromise where you need to. We pay money sometimes. Maybe someone is having a problem in an acre of land. We come and you share out instead of fighting. Then you solve, you move on. You make a few losses, but the profits will eventually be bigger because you also want to develop trust. The last thing is patience. Very, very important. And this is a skill for life. You need to be consistent, you need to be persistent. For you to be consistent and persistent, you need to be patient. It takes time for you to get big money. If you want to get $1 million shillings in real estate, maybe you can steal it. But for those who want to make billions, you need to take so long, or millions and millions of money, because you need to develop trust. Trust gives you a big base of customers who can buy from you. If you want 10 customers, maybe you'll market and get them. But if you want 1,000 customers, you'll have to develop, serve the 10, meet their needs, communicate, negotiate like you are saying, solve their problems, develop a relationship with them. After you have done that to the 100, then they'll give you 1,000 because they'll come with their friends. That's how it works. And for you to be able to develop this, you need time, and that's where patience comes in. Keep learning every day. I'll not tell you it is easy. I'll not try to lie to you. It will take even 1 year. It's a lie. It will take a long time. You have taken 8 years. God has been gracious to us. There are people who have taken 20 years for them to be able to do this. You need to keep learning. You need to be patient as much as possible. Basically, and how do you start being a real estate agent? It's so easy. You can start today. You might have, all of us have friends, mostly. You might have a network of friends from your church, from your chama, from your workplace, for those who keep moving a lot. Basically, you have a network of people who can be able to buy a product. The most interesting thing is people have needs. You just need to talk to them. Offer yourself with what you are selling, and most of them will come to you because they have needs. They are not doing to you as a favor. They have needs. So if you have a network of friends, that's where you can start. And of course, before I forget, you also need to be registered with the right bodies. Maybe you need a business name. That's the easiest way to start, instead of registering a company. But if you want to go far, you must have a vehicle that can take you there. You need maybe a Land Cruiser to be able to go to Congo Forest. You can't use a Vitz. That's why if you want to go very far, you need to have the right vehicle. You may need to register a company, but you also need to understand the tax components. And that's where education comes in. These things are found in YouTube. You can find them if you Google Learn what you need. These days, registering a business name or a company, you just need a day. Also register as a real estate agents. There are bodies to do that. Just find out where you need to register. Just ensure you register and you keep the rules. So you can start today with the friends you have. And also, I would like to say this. For username investment, you have made this journey so easy. We have so many agents who have made good money. There are those who have even have more than 10 plots with us. By just selling 10 plots, bringing customers who can buy 10 plots, they get one for free. But we also have agreements where we give maybe like 3 to 5% of the sales that you make. You just need to register with us. You start there, register yourself, apply those tips that I have been able to share. You can get others online. No one has the monopoly of ideas. Then learn those skills. You learn by doing. Always remember, for the millions of young people in our country who are looking for jobs, there are so many things you can do. We have done videos about how to start a business with 0 shillings. Online is the way to go these days. And of course, you can sell plots online. We have also done other videos on how to start a business with as low as wherever. But today we are talking about how to be a successful real estate agent. These millions of young men and women in our country who have finished their degrees, their college diplomas, some have finished Form 4. There is so much you can do. You can be able to convince people, look for a group, become committed, learn. You can learn, anyone can learn. You can be a successful real estate agent and you'll be able to make money. Just as an example, we are talking about 5%. 5% of a million shillings is 5% of a million shillings is like 50,000 shillings. If you sell a property worth a million shillings, and there are people who can even be able to do so many in a month, that's where you start. By the time you get 1,000 customers, you'll be making so much money. For us in business, we started more like agents. Of course, these are companies, we are developers. We buy our own properties. We don't do agency as Username Investment Limited. You can also become the next Username Investment or other big organization in the sector. I want to encourage you today that you can do it, you can learn, you can offer yourself, you can do these things everyone else is doing. You can even do it in Kenya or outside the country. Basically, there is big money to be made. Thank you so much for watching us, watching our show today. We really appreciate. For those who are customers of Username Investment, we really appreciate our agents, our suppliers out there, our stakeholders. Also, you are one of them. If you have any question, you can ask down there. We will be able to answer. But please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram, Username Investment. You'll be able you'll be able to get the benefits that you'll accrue from you investing in us, you being able to learn, and God will surely bless you. Thank you so much and have a good day. We look forward to seeing you in the next show.